So good day, everyone, and welcome to our live webinar, 3Ds for a Connected and Agile Business and Customer Experience, Digitalization, Digital Transformation. This webinar is brought to you by Tech1 Global and Microsoft, together with our speakers from Enadoc, Bashundhara Group, and Landco Pacific Corporation. This is Mimi Navarro, your session's host. Digitalization, and digital transformation are often used interchangeably in organizations. Many regard them as synonyms, but the difference is quite significant in practice. There is an urgency to close this gap for organizations as increasing digital transformation trends and explosion of data and the COVID-19 pandemic have amplified the need to be agile and stay competitive amid disruption. Thank you for joining us today in this insightful session with industry speakers with diverse backgrounds from Tech1 Global, Microsoft, Enadoc, Bashundhara Group, and Landco Pacific Corporation. Let us prepare your organization with the right solutions that can drive the 3Ds in a fully integrated setup that is agile and future-proof. Now, to officially start the webinar, we would like to call Boss Lars Jepsen, CEO and co-founder of Tech1 Global and Enadoc, for his opening remarks. Boss Lars?
Hello, good afternoon, and good morning to some of you as well. Hope you are having a good Wednesday, and I would really like to thank all of you for signing up today. It's we are very happy to see a good support for this afternoon's webinar, and also I would like to thank our two clients, Bashundhara Group and Landco Pacific, for joining us today and discussing some of the experiences, and of course Barbara from Microsoft, as well as some of our own team members who will be speaking. So thank you very much, Mimi. I can hardly say more than what you already said. So welcome everyone, and look forward to spending the next couple of hours with you. And back to you, Mimi.
Thanks, Boss Lars. Now for today's event agenda. In the first half, we will have a fireside chat with our industry speakers to understand the 3Ds. For the second half, we will showcase technologies and solutions from Microsoft and Enadoc to help you start your 3Ds journey. Now, before we officially start, we also love to hear from you. If you have questions to our speakers, please place them in our chat room and we will address that during the Q&A. So, without further ado, let us kickstart our fireside chat with let us kickstart the fireside chat. Here's Boss Lahiro Munindadrasa, Managing Director of Tech1 Philippines, to moderate the session with our industry speakers. Over to you now, Boss Lahiro.
Thank you. Thanks, Mimi. First of all, am I audible to you, Mimi?
Yes, boss.
All good.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Great. Thank you. So welcome, everyone. I'm Lahiro Munindradasa, Managing Director of Tech1 Global Philippines. This is the first webinar of this calendar year, focusing on 3Ds, digitization, digitalization, and digital transformation. Today's discussion will focus on how 3Ds can help to create connected and agile business and customer experience. We have brought together an interesting group of leaders to demystify about interoperability of 3Ds to our valued clients. First of all, we have Boss Vasantha. He's the Chief Operating Officer for Tech1 Global, and he's currently working on content services and robotic process automation platform technologies that can support small and medium businesses to join the fourth industrial revolution. And also we have Boss Lars. He's an IT entrepreneur, a business adventurer, and a guerrilla marketer with a wealth of experience in content services, platform, digital transformation, social media marketing, RP, and entrepreneurship. And also we have Anne from Microsoft. Anne is a strategic leader for the Azure business in the Philippines, covering both the intelligent cloud apps and infra, data, and AI solution areas, with end-to-end accountability for the Azure business, including strategy, planning, execution, advocacy, governance, learning, and go-to-market plan for this subsidiary. And also we have Sifat. Sifat, he has amassed expertise from a range of diversified professional engagements for over 18 years, which sets him apart as an exemplary next-generation tech leader in the industry. And also we have Ms. Rose. She's a sales leader who spearheaded key digital transformation initiatives to drive operational excellence and improve customer experience at Landco. So, as always, we'd welcome any feedback on specific topics, the format, or the other suggestions you might have after this session. Please reach out to our marketing team directly with any feedback. With that, let's kick things off. So I'll start with a question for Vasantha. So first of all, from the session introduction, it did mention that the 3Ds, digitization, digitalization, and digital transformation are considered synonyms. They are the same. But in practice, there's a significant difference that organizations need to understand. Can you help our audience define and differentiate each term?
Good morning and good afternoon from where you're joining. Thank you, Lahiru. And I think this is a very important question because I think we need to this is digital transformation is a buzzword, and understanding this understanding these different stages of digital transformation is an important task. So I would say that if you really take the first D, the digitization. Digitization is about actually dealing with the past, because no transformation can happen without, digital transformation requires digital artifacts. So if you have a past, maybe part of your organization is already digital. Maybe you have finance solutions, maybe you have a HR solution, which is digital, but maybe there is some component of your process is not digital. Then that is the point of time, it will be difficult for you to fully transform. That means you need to first digitize those information. Once digitized, of course, then you can go to the second stage. And the second stage is the digitalization, where we can collaborate, share, and create processes out of these, internally to improve the efficiencies of the organization. But the last stage, which is called the digital transformation, of course, is where I would, in my definition, there are multiple definitions for this. In my definition, what I call it boundary digitization. That means when your organization is capable of receiving and sending, or basically communicating digitally with all stakeholders. That means your customers, suppliers, and your internal employees, everyone. If you can engage them digitally, that is where the actual digital transformation happens. So first two stages of what I said, digitization and digitalization, there is a definite boundary. That means you can have your backlogs or history converted. That is there is a timeline for that. There's a point that you will finish digitizing your history. Digitalization is very similar. You can also internally automate processes, and you can start sharing. But the final stage, or the digital transformation, actually is a continuously evolving process, where what you need to do is you improve and review, improve, and again adapt, and in moving in a process to improve your digital existence in the environment. So I would say that every business is a digital business, because the things how things get transformed. Tomorrow there is no business exists without having to be a digital business. So I think that gives a very quick overview. If that satisfies you.
I really like your comment about every business is a digital business, which is absolutely true. So thanks for your comprehensive explanation. My next question is for you, Lars. Vasantha had defined and differentiated the 3Ds. How can organizations go beyond each term to reinvent and create new business models that can lead to significant new opportunities for growth?
Thank you, Lahiru. I have a couple of slides, so if you can help me here, Mimi. Yeah. So basically, the 3Ds of digital transformation, as Vasantha just explained it, looks something like this. And it can be quite abstract to understand what is it really we are doing when we transform an organization using technology. And next slide, please, Mimi. What we are really looking at here is unleashing the organizational potential. So every organization has a huge potential to grow within their own business or within other businesses, but very often they are held back by legacy processes, legacy systems, and very often what we see in our business as well, even things like document management, paper-based solution is holding you back from exploring the potential of the world today. If you next slide, please. So if we talk about the 3Ds of digital transformation, they transform into really three more pillars that really present the outcome of digital transformation. And if we take them one by one, at the starting point, it's about creating value. When you improve your efficiency, you create cost savings, and those cost savings can be redeployed in the organization to grow the organization, to create better outcome for the stakeholders. You can use that agility to disrupt your industry or enter into new industries. And what you will find more and more is that organizations that start out digital have a huge head start ahead of legacy organizations. You can just think about how something like our taxi business, for example, have been changed over the past years with app-based ride-sharing models. Our delivery services have exploded in the last few years in COVID, and many of those organizations that we now use every day, they didn't exist 5 years ago. They were a result of a digital startup. So if existing organizations want to participate in the opportunities which are there today, they need to become agile, and they can only become agile if they disconnect themselves from the kind of burden of the past. If you look at the expectation of clients and employees today, we used to talk about very often in these conversations about our clients, our end users. What can we do for our clients? But increasingly, we are focusing both inside and outside at the same time. Our employees are also expecting us to be a digital organization. If we want to attract and retain the best employees, we have to have processes, we have to have transformation in place internally. If we want to retain and attract and retain clients, we need to as well be digital outside. Yesterday, I purchased something for our kitchen. One of the things that Lairo forgot to mention is that I'm not only a CEO, I'm also a home chef. So I love to cook. And yesterday, last few days, I was looking for a specific product. And when I talked to the importer of this product, they did not have any stock available. And they said to me, well, we will let you know once stock come in, and might not be so soon. But then I went to the same company showroom in my town where I stay, and they had all the products in stock that I was looking for. So they missed an opportunity, not for me because I found the product, but imagine how many customers are looking for products which are not in the system because they have been placed in a different system. So those silos are creating a negative impression from clients and a positive opportunity for new entrants. That's why you can see companies, very small companies, open shop in Daraz or Lazada or Amazon, and suddenly enter into a market without even being much noticed. When you look at the business continuity, we live in a world today of great disruption. Currently, we are facing a war in Europe. And if we were not facing a war in Europe, we are facing a COVID lockdown. And if we are not facing a COVID lockdown, we are facing typhoons, tsunamis, volcanic eruption. Business continuity is a must. It is a matter of survival. So when you look at the opportunity for an organization in digital transformation, it is not just a matter of modernizing and getting into the latest and greatest technology. It is about taking advantage of new opportunity. It's about being able to attract clients and employees. It's about being able to survive in the long term. So that's my point, Lairu.
Yeah, I'm sure the ideas shared by you will help to create new business models and growth opportunities for our audience. Thank you. So, Lars and Vasantha nicely defined and differentiated the 3Ds. What is the key role of technology leaders like Microsoft to prepare organizations and drive digital transformation?
Hi, hello everyone. Good afternoon. To answer you, Lahiru, actually, digital transformation is not a technology deployment or an IT exercise. It's actually a people exercise. Business leaders must therefore embrace cultural transformation from the top and explore the behavioral shifts that are needed to bring about lasting change. Above all else, this requires belief and commitment. So changing human behavior is not always easy, and there's actually a level of discomfort that comes with stepping into the unknown. Some people thrive on it, some people can learn, and some people can feel paralyzed by it. So this must be handled sensitively. The Microsoft Cloud, or the 3 clouds that we have, is designated to address the digital transformation needs of the customers. And this is how we will support the customers. So it consists of Microsoft 365, Dynamics 365, LinkedIn. We also have GitHub and Microsoft Azure brought together with the Power Platform to actually help customers break through these friction points on their digital transformation journey. It is actually a comprehensive solutions of connected industry-leading clouds, actually built to enable the organization's digital feedback loop by design. So our holistic approach aims to empower the employees with connected collaboration, and for the customers to engage their customers too with connected experience, and be able to transform their products with connected innovations, optimizing operations with connected insights. And that's just to share with you the 5 steps on the digital transformation journey. So I believe, and we believe in Microsoft, is number 1, to set a clear mission, goals, and reason for digital change, including how it will improve the working lives of your people. Number 2 would be articulate this to your team openly and reinforce them regularly through diverse communication channels. Number 3 would be identify innovators and change agents within the organization. And lastly, provide individuals with the tools and freedom to experiment with new technology and find pathways to achieving the mission, while treating any failures along the way as learning experiences, and incorporate a clear feedback loop and establish intervention strategies for resolving conflicts and tension in the team. Thank you, Lahiru.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing the insights of how Microsoft helping businesses to drive digital transformation. And I'm sure our clients would love to hear this from you. So let me ask from Sifat. So Sifat, I think you are agreeing that the COVID-19 pandemic has amplified the need for organizations to be agile and competitive. As an organization that started to embark on your journey to digital transformation, what had been the challenges you encountered, the measures you took, and the benefits you are now experiencing?
Thanks, Laro, and thanks rest of the speakers, Lars, Vasant, to create these opportunities. As you know, Bashundhara Group, we are one of the very largest conglomerate of Bangladesh. And since you are mentioning the COVID situation, obviously that is the crucial period which has gave all of us a very solid lesson that how should business think differently. Just to give you some quick background, that Bashundhara Group is such kind of conglomerates of Bangladesh. They are basically the frontliner in the economies. We do have the business of the press and media. And so you understand that we always need to be work on it. We do have the manufacturings of the food and beverage, oil and gas, LPG. So we do have a very big commitment towards the nations and towards the society. So during the COVID situation, we cannot spare a single day without work. So all the workforce has to work from home or physically. But anyhow, we need to ensure that the work should be done and the business should be running smoothly. Obviously, in the first hit, we were facing so many challenges. In that regards, the communication and collaboration is the first things that were hampered severely. And the sharing the informations, documents, these are the another crisis moment we are facing badly. So Alhamdulillah, Bashundhara Group has given us that privileges and the opportunities to adopt all kind of technological advantages in the right time. So in that regards, yeah, we took few immediate measures. And as Lars has mentioned that digital transformation is a buzzword, to be honest, yeah, I do believe the same. For the last couple of years, this word has been used so many times. But to be honest, the technology is changing very rapidly, right? And the way Vasant also explained the digitization and digitalization, I'm also believing such kind of the way, Bashundhara Group, we have
digitization or digital transformation.
Yeah, thanks. So we Bashundhara Group are using the ERP solution for almost more than 12 years. So obviously this is one kind of digitalization, right? We are into the ERP, but is that the end? No. Now what we need to do, we need to convert all the information and data into the next level so that we can take the precise decision and we can make decision accurately. So next that we need to convert all those data through the BI. So again, another digitalization is needed. So it's a continuous journey. So in that respect, one thing must need to be considered, that how agility I have been taken while I'm making any digital decision or any digital transformation I'm taking. So how it will help me in the future if another new situation appears in front, so that we can adopt the technological change immediately. So the point that we are discussing over here, what measures we have been taken to ensure the smooth communication. We immediately implemented the Microsoft Office 365. With that, we migrated all our on-premises services into the cloud again. We are using the ACP, as I mentioned you. We migrated our ACP into the Azure platform, so that we can assure that all the employees can work or to connect to our server from anywhere into the globe. So with that things, we have taken all those measures. And with that also, we need to assure that the cybersecurity attack and the other threats needs to be addressed smartly. So yeah, we also taken the advantages from the Microsoft solutions. We have implemented their solution in our platform too. With that, we make sure that the business should be running smoothly. And few more things we also introduce in our organization, that nowadays all the documents are sharing in an online basis. That means any documents needs to be signed or review. We are using the Teams Power Platform and the Adobe Sign. With that, we are ensuring that the management can sign any documents from anywhere. Recently, we also taken another project, that is to document management solution, DMS solution, and from take one we have taken the solution of Enadoc. As you know, that Bashundhara Group has another big venture, that is the land and properties. They do have the documents of past more than 100 years, and the millions and millions of documents is there. So we need to archive all those documents, and at the same time, I need to assure that going forward, no new documents, physical documents, could be generated. So in that respect, I also need to make sure that the business process should be automated, so that I can assure a paperless environment in Bashundhara Group. So yes, these are the way we are taking the initiatives, so that we can also make sure digital transformation, the buzzword that is using more widely, can be achieved also in our organization. And top of everything, I do believe another thing is that the management and the business people should carry that kind of mindset, that whatever new things are coming up front, that we can accept it and start using it with positive focus. So if we can do that, then any kind of transformation or change management is possible and effective. Yeah, over to you, Larry. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Sipat. Super helpful. I'm sure this information that you shared are invaluable to our audience, and especially one important point you mentioned about continuous transformation. It's very important, because transformation is not something like, we do something and after that, we finish, because, it's always continuous. And like you mentioned, you started your journey with collaboration, then you moved to your ERP, you brought your cloud, your SAP into Microsoft Azure Cloud, and after that you started your document digitization, and also you started introducing e-signature. So I think it's a really interesting case study for most of our customers attended this event. Yeah. So with that, let me ask this question from Ms. Rose. Ms. Rose, today every business became a digital business, like Vasanta mentioned. A sales leader like you with vast industry experience must be digitally equipped in this technology era, while you are in league with digital natives. You are someone who challenged the status quo. We can clearly see that. Coming from sales background and challenging your environment to go digital. So we would like to hear from you, what have been the significant impact and results of the technologies like Enadoc and Microsoft that you have adapted to improve your business productivity? And also, what can you recommend to organizations who are still hesitant and have not realized the value of digitization and digitalization and digital transformation?
Yeah, there's a lot of significant impacts, no, that resulted from our using the Enadoc. But may I greet everyone? Good afternoon. And I think this is a really good venue where we can really share, our experience to other companies, so that they can also enjoy the benefits of digitization and going 3D. Personally, this Enadoc really helped me a lot in the organization. Now, we used to manage more than 11,000 in 2017 accounts. No? That means we have so many folders in our office, because we are a real estate developer and we sell our properties. So we maintain a lot of 201 files of our clients. Now, number one that really impacted me, by using Enadoc and by going 3D was the improved customer experience. I think Sir Lar is our client in one of our projects in Batangas City, and he expressed his experience before we were using Enadoc, that it really took time for us to get back to them and give them the information that they need. No, so number one, I can really say that Enadoc and digitization improved customer experience, because before Enadoc, we really developed irate customers because of our inability to provide them quickly the information they need. And then after we digitized, our customers now waited for a shorter time, and because we're able to assist them quickly in the information that they need, we were able to convert them to happy and satisfied and loyal customers. Number two, we reduce storage cost because of the volume of our clients. We used to house 3 libraries for our 201 folders, and we also rent offsite storage. Now with Enadoc, we didn't anymore do that, and we minimize the cost of the storage and archiving of the physical to one files, thereby reducing the space needed and reduce the storage costs. Number three, we save time in retrieval and return of documents. Before Enadoc, we used to employ 201 assistants to file, to pull out the folders, and after use, they return the folders, which aids significantly our working hours. Now, they are now doing more activities that are vital in the operations, and we no longer suffer or have difficulty in the retrieval and the return of documents. Okay, number four, I think we have a faster access to information anytime. Before Enadoc, the release of information was scheduled due to the availability of the folders, because a lot of our departments are using the 201 files, especially when there's a problem of the account. Today, it can be accessed anytime, any day, anywhere, and anyone with right access to view the information, because documents are stored digitally. Now collaboration is faster and more efficient. Now five, I think we really increased our productivity, because today through Enadoc, information can be searched by employees and identify the desired document easily in shorter time, because it is digitized and organized. No more looking for the 201 physical folders. No. Now, that act benefited the company because we wasted and we reduced the wasted time spent by employees searching for missing documents. Now, employees can focus on more important tasks. Number six, we really saved on organizational cost, because digitizing documents is more efficient and less expensive than maintaining physical vaults or cabinets, no, or renting storage spaces. So printing cost also is very high, because it eats up our operating budget, because every department who uses the file has to photocopy the information that they need. So it's eating up really cost on our budgets. Now, information were also saved when we experience flood in the storage. Well, one time, my supervisor just called me and said, "Mom, the library is flooding." So the folders were wet, the receipts were wet, and before Enadoc, we were really crying. Now with digitized information, we were less worried, because we know that is already in the cloud. So we really saved on the operational cost. Now, the next impact, I guess, is we can share the information simultaneously and anywhere, by different users, because we are a big company with different departments who uses the same folders. So everything, when you request for it, is scheduled. So even if the account is rushed, you need the information urgently, you cannot do that, because you have to follow the line and wait for your turn to get that information. Today, we save on those waiting period and enjoy the accessibility to use and share the information simultaneously and digitally. Okay? It also improved our decision making, because information are digitized, it can be retrieved quickly and accurately, giving the management team the ability to get correct information readily, and then they're able to give their decisions better, and in a shorter time. So it really improved the company's operations. Now, I really feel that we improved our information security because if we are all aware, everybody now has to observe the Data Privacy Act. Companies should be careful in handling sensitive clients' information because misplaced documents or printed documents that are left in the printer can fall in the wrong hands and can be at risk. While digitized information can be kept and accessed only by authorized person. Now, disaster recovery, I am personally happy about the impact or the benefit of using Enadoc or digitized information because as I was saying earlier, when the library flooded and the folders got wet, now we do not have that worry anymore because the information are digitized. So even if there will be fire, there will be flood, there will be chaos, your information, your documents will really be saved and secured. Okay, we have environmental friendly. We are all aware of how the climate change are affecting the planet Earth, and all of us is our responsibility to contribute to the planet and to our environment. And we all know that every bond paper and any paper comes from a tree. And the more printing of documents we do, the more we are contributing to deforestations. So now that we went digital, we already eliminated the activity of printing the document. Because before, when the 201 file goes around and someone is in line, you just have to photocopy the information that you need and then you have to return that 201 file. So because we're dealing with thousands of clients, we are also printing millions of um, documents. So million of documents means how many trees. So going digital is really a best choice. Let's go green by going 3D. Okay, now I think one of the many benefits that we get from using Enadoc and digitization is increased employee efficiency because after we embraced Enadoc, employees were happy to readily give information to departments or individual who needs the information anywhere without the need to physically request for the 201 file and wait for its turn and delivery. Digitizing allowed our company to thrive even during the pandemic when other companies closed down because our information are all in cloud and digitized. So the decision to go digital was an excellent decision, and I'm really glad we have this technology, and now our employees can spend more time doing vital activities than just sorting and looking for relevant documents in the physical 201 file. I think in summary, Enadoc and Microsoft made our lives easier. It is the best document management solution for any organization because it helps us in the easy access of information, especially during the pandemic where almost everyone works from home without the need to bring the physical files and folders. No, so I would like to recommend to other companies who are present today to decide to go 3D. Because during the pandemic, we realized that we befriended technology. And I don't think we still ever go back to how we were used to be doing. Now, people enjoy shopping goods online, ordering food online, doing banking online. And I think it will really stay as is. So to enjoy the benefits of improved business productivity, digital solution should be your first choice. So before I end, let me ask these questions to all the companies who are here, who are still apprehensive of going digital or going 3D. May I ask you these questions? Where are you storing your documents? Who can access them and how? Are you confident that your files are complete and there's no misplaced important information? And number 4, are you filing only what's needed, or you were like us before that we were also maintaining trash in the files? Enadoc and Microsoft is the answer. Thank you and have a good day, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I think it was a wonderful explanation, and thanks for sharing some insightful user experience. And I think I'm pretty sure that the clients who joined today, they are inspired to go digital after hearing to you. So
They should and experience the benefits that we are experiencing now.
yes, correct. Okay, all right. So, all right, everyone. So that's the end of our first round of fireside chat. I'm sure our audience is super excited to move to our second round. So in our second round, we would like to ask your opinion, our distinguished panel, about common probes around 3D. So any of you can volunteer to answer. So let me start with first question. So we all know many companies put some extra efforts to launch initiatives to drive digital transformation during the pandemic. I think you will agree when some companies launch digital focus units or digital chiefs to drive transformation, they could not do the job alone for long. The companies that succeeded were the ones in which digital and IT and business collaborated closely on the broad digital transformation agenda. I hope you agree on this. So how can we improve the ways our IT and business and digital people interact in order to drive that change? Can you shed some lights on these leaders?
Lahiro, let me just share my view on this one.
Sure.
So in the question in the chat, which organization or department is expected to lead the initiative toward digital transformation? So as I have mentioned earlier, digital transformation, we should have a handshake between leaders from different departments to really agree and rally the team behind them to embark in this new journey. With that said, the digital transformation may or may not start with the IT department, but should be supported by different leaders coming from different groups. And so I think the best way is to maybe have that let's say a digital transformation champion for each department to ensure that we are all aligned in every step of the way, and that the things that we need to do and why we are doing it, we are aligned from the start to end, and to what are the things that we need to do more to scale up and be able to really achieve the digital transformation that we are aiming to embark on. So that's my
Thank you.
This later.
Thank you. Last, Vasanta, do you want to add anything?
I can chip in here with a little add on to this. I think a digital transformation should be viewed by business owners as mission critical today. I mean, we talked about earlier disrupting businesses. So that means if you're not disrupting, you will be disrupted. And if we talk about customer satisfaction, client satisfaction, things like this, it is mission critical. I think every business unit should have without any degrading of the position, like a mini CIO being responsible in the HR team. We can see, for example, in our own company, it has been a challenge for our HR team to drive digital transformation on their own because they don't have the technical skill set. But it's been difficult as well for the IT to help them because they don't have the business skill set. So we need to move the technology knowledge into the business unit. And it comes back to the starting point. Every business is digital. That means every business leader need to be a digital business leader. Whether you are driving, HR, finance, your operations, business, you need to be a digital native. You need to understand technology. Otherwise, you cannot implement, you cannot demand, you cannot suggest, you cannot have any ideas. Ideas should come from the user because they understand the business case, they understand the business requirement. IT can help to support that, but really we need digital natives in our business leadership in the business units.
Yeah, I would like to also compliment with Lars. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, this is true. I mean, it's not the sole responsibilities of the IT people to bring the digital transformation. As a CIO or the IT representative, I can bring the digital objects into the organization, right? But the transformation will be only happen when the people will start believing on that product and start using the things. And there obviously required a good handshaking between the business people and to the IT people. And I also believe I just want to share our experience, few of the experience that gonna help you, I guess. Also, the stakeholders and the investor needs to believe that the digital or the IT equipments or the services that we are going to introduce into the organization that gonna add the value in future. So, for example, when we introduced the e-signature into the organization, it was not very much easier to deploy all over the organization, right? But our owner and the top management people, they are basically helping us a lot. They are just saying to the organization that we are not gonna sign any of the physical document without the e-sign, without uploading those through the Teams or Adobe Sign. So with that, basically, these things is needed. And from the IT side, we are also giving all kind of the training, sharing the user manuals. So yeah, it's a journey, as I mentioned earlier, that you cannot expect the transformation within the overnight. The contribution and the positive effort is needed from all over the organizations. Yeah.
Well, agreed with Lars also what he mentioned about every business leader is a digital business leader today. I think, I have experience working with our local leadership team. I think, it has been a challenge when we started our during the pandemic, first part of the pandemic. It was very challenging for us to build skills of our leadership team to go digital. I think it has been really helpful in the latter part of the pandemic for us to really thrive. And also, like you mentioned, Sifaat, I really agree with you. The push need to come from the top, and also bottom need to support. So, but if you don't get the support from the top management, it's going to be very difficult to drive digital transformation outcomes. So thank you. Thanks for your interesting insights. All right. So let's move to our second question. One of the research paper published by Harvard University says high digital dexterity in an organization increases the likelihood of successful digital transformation by 3.3 times. So with digital dexterity, I think employees are better equipped. I think this is again related to our previous question. They are better equipped to handle duties outside of their scope, giving them a chance to experiment with new roles and tasks. So, and also, I think you will agree, it will positively impact our revenue, our net promoter score, customer satisfaction, and also marketing effectiveness. So can you share what strategies have been successful in achieving digital dexterity at your workplace? Sifat, would you like to take this question?
Yeah, thank you so much. Obviously, it gonna help the day-to-day operations to run more effectively. Again, I'm going to share you a few of the, live experiences so that you can connect. Once we are converting or migrating to the Office 365, we are using, we started using the Microsoft Planner, Notes, Task religiously. I mean, we are promoting all the departments, all the employees to use all those things, right? Yeah, previously we are taking many kinds of tasks or the project assignments just rapidly or randomly. But whenever we are trying to use the planner, Microsoft Planner, and the notes, the efficienciness of doing those job has been changed. Gradually. The number that you have mentioned that efficiency levels is increased by 3 times. I would say for my organization, I get the benefit more than of that. And after the pandemic situations, we have also digitized our CRM solution. We have digitized our few of the other business operations. Those are businesses really taking the cream of those implementations, and business are appreciating all those kind of changes. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. I'm sure some of our clients in this audience might also have the same question hindering them to stride towards accelerating their digital transformation journey. Because I remember when I had some customer discussions in the past, this has been one of their concern they raised multiple times. So do you think we have better regulatory and policy level support from the government of your respective countries to meet the growing demands in digital transformation? For example, accepting electronic evidence or digital signature, like you mentioned, Sifat. So, Last, Vasant, any ideas you have about this?
Yeah, it's a very valid things you have mentioned. Whenever we are implementing the Enadoc and the e-signature for my organization, that my top management has raised so many questions. Among them, this is one of those, that they were asking me whether I can approve any kind of documents. I mean, the internal document is fine, but what about the documents that is coming from the third parties, or the documents that are carrying the legal bindings? So with that, I was also exploring the legal regulations, and yes, from Bangladesh side, they have already launched one regulations that the digital signature is acceptable into the legal code or the legal area, but there have few requirements, very minimum requirements. If we can meet all those things, so the government can also assure this e-signature or the digitization of documents. They will also allow it. So that answer is from my side. Yeah, Bangladesh government and regulations committees are also allowed about this digital transformation, and they are also supporting us so that we can implement those things time to time.
Last, and Vasanta, since you have experience with South Asia and Southeast Asian governments, probably you can share some of your experience as well.
From my experience, actually, the legal framework is available in all countries. It's not government regulations that is holding back the organizations to use the digital signature, for example, or use digital technologies. It is themselves, and it is the lack also of court cases that where digital evidence has been used. So there's a lack of precedence in the court system, because the legal department will be headed by people with legal experience, hopefully, and they will say, well, the law is there, but there was no court case where it was proven to be accepted. So that friction is still there. And I think in the pandemic time, we had in a number of countries actually seen that the courts themselves moved online within a few weeks because they could not do court hearings in person, and they had to do court hearings via Microsoft Teams, for example. What I unfortunately have seen is that as soon as we get back to a kind of semi-normal situation, all of that digital transformation kind of reset. Many organizations accepted digital signatures on their documents. We have inside Enadoc a digital signature product as well, which we have developed specifically during the pandemic to allow clients like Landco and Bashundhara Group, for example, to sign documents inside Enadoc. And we have seen that during the pandemic, those third parties like banks and others accepted those documents. But now that the pandemic is over, they're expecting us to go and sign in the bank again. So we need more drive across the industries from the users to say this is what we believe is right, and we are willing to take it forward. Remember what was some of the points of Rosemary earlier was that you might not have the paper document, right? It might have disappeared, meaning that it could have been flooded, it could have been burned, it could have been misplaced. So if you don't have the original document, then what do you have? You have nothing. So you need to move forward to benefit. I just wanted to add that in a recent study we did in the Philippines, only 3% of organizations have a electronic document management solution for their HR files. So there's a huge opportunity to do something in this area, but there has to be a willingness to take some risk in the organizations and with the legal advisors as well. We need to see that. Basanta, you might have something to add because you worked with some projects also in Sri Lanka and Philippines on courts, right?
Yes, Lars. So I think I will go back to thank you so much. I will start with a quote. Remember the digital transformation. We're talking about digital transformation for quite a long time, but actually, who did the digital transformation was COVID. I think this was a joke everywhere, and we used to laugh at it. But I think that is certainly there's a truth to that. The truth is that we need to face such a situation. I think the same digital dexterity Lahiru is talking about, the changing of the beliefs and mindset. I will talk about this, and I will also tell you another story before I get there. When we started our company, with in early 2000, early 2000, and we wanted to start operations everywhere, every part of the country because we knew that we need to attract good talent. We knew that it is coming from different places. For almost 20 years, we have never been able to start a branch office. We managed to open 7 different countries in different locations in countries, but we could not get a branch open because there were 2 reasons. One is whenever we tried, the talented people actually wanted to come to the city because they wanted to have a different lifestyle. They wanted to get away from their parents or whatever. I mean, this is the new generation, and that's one. And the second thing is, we were always thinking, we were also in 2 minds. Can we really be able to manage this? Having a remote branch operation, how do you do this? How are we? We don't have enough managers to manage. But last 2 weeks, I have onboarded 17 people in our company, and one came actually from the southmost point of Sri Lanka, and the other, whom I onboarded, came from the topmost point, the Jaffna, from there. So this is the first time we have an employee working, coming and joining us from Jaffna who's working, because today it's possible. Now this was because of the the digital transformation opportunity that is in front of us and that we have adapted. So that is one set. So then to answer the second question about does the government help you legally in the legal framework, does any government help today how the work from home policy is about? Governments are sometimes behind. They are not, but if you ask whether the digital signature or a document archiving is it acceptable in court of law, actually in Sri Lanka it is adopted in 1994 Evidence Act section number 14, 1994, mind you. It is been defined way before anything of these digital transformation stories happen. And in Nepal, I think 2012 or something, they have accepted digital signatures. And I mean, I'm just, I'm not going to tell each country, but I think in some cases governments are far ahead of visionary compared to the rest of us. But adaptation happens maybe based on the need. When the need arises above everything else, I think the adaptation happens, and that is where I think the real transformation dictates. I was listening to the two companies now before both of them realized that how the digital transformation can help them. I think it's a different experience compared to that somebody come and start telling you, okay, go digital, you're going to have advantage. So when we face that adversity, I think as a countermeasure of that, when we had the tools, I think we started using them more efficiently. I think this is how things happen. I think Lars was talking about a war. Before, I think every dark cloud has a silver line. Previous World War gave us all the medicines. I think this time pandemic has given us also the digital transformation opportunity. It has highlighted the value of it. I think that's my opinion about it.
Thank you. I think it's very insightful, and I also well agreed with you, Boss Vasantha, about your thoughts. I think it's about adaptation. It's not because I think most of the governments, they already have the policy framework into certain level, but when it comes to real adaptation, practical implementation, that's where we see some slowness. Okay, so just to finish our second round, I have one last question. So, as you all know, cybersecurity is one of the most discussed topics whenever we discuss digital transformation and cloud adoption in the recent past. While every businesses are trying to go digital, cybersecurity has been paramount in every digital transformation project. We all can see there's a massive increase in cyber attacks across the world. Like water finds ways into every available opening and cracks, so do the attackers. From a customer perspective, how does security fit into your digital transformation priorities? And how has this changed over the last 2 years with COVID? Again, Sifat, would you like to share your experience in past 2 years?
Obviously, after the COVID, once we have taken the steps and giving the opportunity to all the employees to access the data and the office work from anywhere of the world, and we are also bringing so many agility. At the same time, also we have opened the door for the cyber attacker to make the attack in any time, right? And again, it is not an one answer question. I mean, one word answer that we have achieved everything very sincerely, so my platform is secure. Rather, my team and me is considering the thing in other way that we never can secure our platform in 100%. We have to accept it first. So anyhow, we have to assure that if this kind of disaster or this kind of thing is happened, then how quickly we can react, how quickly we can assure that my business is running very smoothly. So these are the 2 points. In one side, I need to make sure that I can minimize the number of attacks and I can secure my platform. And on the other hand, I need to make sure, I need to prepare myself that if anything happens, or so that I can give the organization zero tolerance or any, what do you say, any sufferings. So for the last 2 years, me and my team has already prepared one architecture with that we are also assuring securing our internal environment and also the threat that is coming from the external side. We have taken all the small initiatives because the one thing I asked everyone to believe in my organization, there is zero tolerance with the security matters. So there is no VIP, there is no male or female things. There is completely zero tolerance. So I'm taking every initiatives to secure my environment.
Thank you. And also, Barbara, probably you can share your
I will share from I will share from the perspective of a cloud service provider. So we all know that security is the number one barrier that prevents businesses from adapting to the cloud. And for good reason, it's always a smart approach to consider security as a top priority, especially when integrating new technologies. So when you use cloud solutions, you're essentially asking another party to hold on to your data for you. So if that party is trustworthy, so that one you have to really check, then your cloud operations will flourish. If not, they'll crash and burn. So specifically, you should be made aware of your cloud provider's security practices. You should know where your data will be stored, how the provider encrypts your incoming and outgoing data, and what regulations the provider is compliant with. And training your employees on cloud solutions as well. Whenever you introduce a new technology to your business, you need to also ensure that everyone who uses the technology is on board. You can't assume that everybody will be able to understand a new solution on their own. Thank you, Lahiro.
Thanks, Barbara. I think, well said. And also, even I came across certain customer discussions where, some of our clients, they were having this, common myth about security, like, they think it's okay to have environment in front of me, like, before the pandemic, most of the, especially some customers, they were thinking, okay, it's better to have, enclosed server room right in front of me, rather, I'm going to host some of my application on somewhere, I don't have any visibility. But this thinking has completely changed during the pandemic because they had no other option rather working from home. So eventually they couldn't able to see the server room, that so-called server room right in front of them. So they started believing the cloud, and I can see that thinking is already shifting, which is a very good sign. And I think, yes, like you mentioned, security is a key priority. Thank you. So it's a very enlightening session for sure, a perfect way to close. So thank you, Lars, Vasantha, and Sifat and Rose for your time today and insights. And we thank everyone for watching this webinar. We recognize this importance. We recognize the importance of helping our customers to build connected and agile business and customer experience. And we are glad we got to take some time with you to talk about it today. So thanks again. And I look forward to the next one. So over to you, Mimi.
Thank you so much to our speakers for this very insightful session. We hope that you gained more information from their discussion. Okay, so if you have questions about our speakers, again, please feel free to place it in our chat room, and we will address that during the Q&A. So moving to the second half of the webinar, let's invent with purpose. Let's call back Ms. Barbara Ann Garcia, Azure Business Group Lead of Microsoft, for her presentation. Ms. Ann?
Okay. So hello, everyone. I'm excited again to be here today to talk about Microsoft Azure aligned to the 3Ds for the connected agile business and customer experience. I'm Ann Garcia, Azure Business Group Lead at Microsoft Philippines. So in every industry around the world, the past year has seen organizations adjust to challenges, pursue new business opportunities, and accelerate their digital capabilities in the face of the pandemic that has reshaped the world. Disruption demands the capacity to turn every challenge into an opportunity. In today's world, this capacity is built on a strong digital foundation. We have actually heard it over and over. Organizations that had already begun their digital transformation journey felt better equipped to respond their rapid and unpredictable change. They were prepared with the tools and the platforms to shift to remote work, recalibrate supply chains for changing demands and unplanned interruptions, and transact with customers in new ways. Now, many of these organizations are thriving and adapting faster than ever. Early investment in a strong digital foundation made the difference for organizations to be able to weather the storm. But the landscape is continuing to change for all of us, and it has actually become clear that business as usual will not be a part of the new norm. Those early investments are not enough to keep up in the world that has not finished evolving. There's no going back to the level of digital adoption we saw before the pandemic. What we used to call digital transformation has now become digital acceleration or optimism. Everyone on this earth is connected to each other. In fact, that is indisputable after the events of the recent past. Together, we have faced heartbreak and tragedy, joy, and laughter. And ultimately, we begin to emerge with a sense of optimism. Today, individuals and organizations alike have become more conscious of our place as part of the global community. We are actually more aware of how our actions contribute to that community, and the majority of organizations, 76% of them, in fact, now realize they have the responsibility to play a constructive role in the society. It's no surprise that corporate social responsibility has become the top priority for business leaders in every industry. We see a clear appetite to place digital transformation and accelerate within a wider context that nurtures the public good. Addressing global economic and societal crisis while protecting our planet presents some of the greatest challenges of our lifetime. It is fundamental to support inclusive economic opportunity, protect fundamental rights, and create a sustainable future. It's not too late to put together a future that allows everyone to not just survive, but thrive by harnessing the power of technology. This is an exceptional moment in history, and over the past several months, we have all been put to the test. The biggest learning is that no business is immune to crisis, and no organization is 100% resilient. But it has also taught us that digital businesses and those fortified with some digital capabilities have been able to pivot more rapidly and respond to their digital or their customers' needs. So also recent times have shown us that but having a greater purpose is critical for an organization to persevere and reimagine the future for the world around them. A strong sense of purpose can keep an organization moving forward, even in the midst of disruption and constant change. As people, as teams, as an ecosystem, we are all working harder than ever before on an already relentless baseline. The word purpose has become even more meaningful. What do we offer to each other, to our communities, and to the world around us? How are we making a difference in the world? Even as industry or every industry is being reshaped, every successful company will contemplate its purpose. Purpose-driven digital alliance technology innovation with an organization's capabilities to drive business and societal outcomes. Purpose is what fuels us, all human beings. This means lasting and prevailing business outcomes will be purpose-driven. But if one thing is certain, it is the technology. Technology is at the center of how these companies look at surviving and thriving in this world. As we've continued to partner with organizations in every industry over the past few months, it's clear the need to transform is only accelerating, and organizations who haven't already invested in digital transformation are actually working to catch up. Now, remember that digital transformation is never a one-size-fits-all scenario. If you think about it, it's a journey with incremental steps towards a long-term goal. It becomes a much less daunting proposition. Organizations who have embraced digital transformation have reaped the benefits. They become more agile. They release or launch their products more faster in the market. They have increased efficiencies and they have reduced their cost. So now you might be thinking, why Azure? How should we think about digital transformation and Azure together? So I'm going to walk you through 3 companies who have embraced digital transformation and Azure to better improve their organization. The first story is about a company who is hiring more developers than Google and Facebook. So they are number 3 in the top 21 Bay Area companies seeking tech talent. Their offices are described as open, sleek, and minimalist. So it's not Salesforce, it's not Adobe, but in fact, Walmart. So leveraging data to serve its 300 million customers with better products at lower prices. I love this story because it shows a large company like Walmart who embrace a digital transformation to empower their employees to truly meet their needs. This next customer is actually a small Japanese restaurant that was passed down 3 generations. So they are doing custom machine learning. A server in this restaurant taught herself machine learning and is building custom AI models to serve better their customers. The beauty of this story is that anyone can use our capabilities and services to innovate. The third story focuses on manufacturing, which is an area we haven't traditionally served well. So meet Chelsea. She has a high school diploma, works minimum wage, and a single mom. She doesn't have any technical background, but she works on the front line at Packer outfitting zipper cups using step-by-step instructions through HoloLens. Not only has Packer found efficiencies in training their frontline workers, but they are already empowering their employees like Chelsea through cutting-edge technology like HoloLens. So this story is an example of what makes Azure special. When you think why Azure, it's because we have the ability to enable anyone of all backgrounds and any company to do more and achieve more and ultimately invent with purpose. And that's a statement around how we feel about Azure. We want to invent with purpose in how we think about it, how we deliver to you, and but also enable you to invent with purpose. And we do that in some key ways. So I talk about these ways as our promises to you on what Azure will always deliver and why we will help you. First, we're going to make sure we have the technology that's meeting your needs today, but also tomorrow. The cloud is moving fast. Every week, a new technology is coming out. So it's about meeting new capabilities now and investing in those on the horizon, from IoT to AI to quantum computing. Ultimately, from a developer perspective, it's about being able to build on your own terms with frameworks, the tools, the OSS that you want, to ensure you have the freedom, that flexibility to be able to work successfully and be able to deploy your applications with quality and confidence every time. Technology is sitting in the cloud, sitting in your data center, sitting on edge devices, and all running in a holistic way, in a seamless environment. That seamless environment is essential. Otherwise, running that way is going to be expensive and hard and insecure. And then last, of course, is trust. Nothing is more important than trust, particularly when you're talking about the cloud. It's about security. We spent $1 billion a year on cyber security and with 3,500 cyber security engineers who are constantly monitoring your data for threats. Then there's compliance. We've said we have the highest number of compliance certifications around the world, and that is not easy. But that's because we have invested ahead of the curve. And we will continue to, because that is a place of great pride. And we have a responsibility in the industry to serve that type of role. And then ultimately, it's about how we do business. We get the question, are you going to compete with me? This may be something you are thinking right now, or the answer is no. We are very clear. We are a technology company. We are a platform provider. We want to empower you as our customer to innovate. We're not interested in going into your business. We're interested in supporting your business. That is the core of what we've done, and we've doubled down on the effort as we move forward. So those are the promises you have as far as what Azure can offer. With that, we feel fortunate to have over more than 95% of Fortune 500 companies inventing with Azure. And they are all business industries, as you can see here, from retail to automotive to airlines, all doing really meaningful things. Currently, we have the most number of cloud regions globally, more than any other cloud providers combined. Now, if you haven't looked at Azure in a few months, you may be surprised to see what we have these days. So this is a high-level map of class of services that we offer. We have well over 200 products and services. You'll notice we've extended to the edge the ability to run application code in the cloud, but also in that seamless, consistent way in the edge. It's informing our edge investments, whether it's Azure Stack, Azure Sphere, or all the way to the HoloLens or our mixed reality capabilities. These are powerful edge devices that work in connection with the cloud. So you'll see we have dev tools, DevOps, and great innovations to the core infrastructure and the PaaS services that we also offer. Overall, this gives you the scope of what Azure as a platform and service can do for you. Now, you might be thinking of all the capabilities and the services are great, but how I think about them when it comes to my business. I want to share with you a typical path our customers would take when moving to the cloud. So first step is migration. The common practice that we see from our customers is first migrating their workloads from on-premises to the cloud. So taking VMs and moving them to the cloud with no change. So which we call a typical lift and shift motion. Now, innovate. The next step is around innovating and modernizing your application on a PaaS platform. This is where you could use containers to provide better efficiencies and speed compared to VMs. Now, as you move into the PaaS platform, you not only can become more efficient, but you can innovate faster and deploy your products to market faster. We have a variety of offerings for our PaaS platform, but what truly differentiates us is through our Power Apps services. This provides a self-service option to build apps with no code. So which means enabling anyone to build applications on their own terms Again, we meet you where you are. Now we've laid out our common paths for using Azure. I'd like to walk you through our promise of being future ready. Azure can help you innovate today, tomorrow, and in the future. We are constantly evolving our products and services to help meet your needs. Given the pace of innovation, we look forward to ensure we're investing in the technology that meets your needs. For future investment, we think about the features and the capabilities that should become available. So we think quantum. Today, we offer quantum services ranging from pre-built solutions to software and quantum hardware that provides developers and customers access to some of the most competitive quantum offerings on the market. If we look to the future, customers like you will be able to swipe a credit card for quantum services. We're constantly partnering with engineering to push the technology envelope so we can get there in the future. In Horizon 2, you'll see AI and mixed reality capabilities. Today, we offer many features and capabilities across AI and mixed realities, but are always striving to build more in the future. From machine learning, knowledge mining, apps, agents, and HoloLens capabilities, we're constantly working to advance technology so we build services that meet your needs today and in the future. So lastly, let's talk about Horizon 1. We've evolved products and services like IoT to become available sooner and faster based on the customer needs. Today, we invested 5 billion in our IoT to add new services and features to customers like you based on your need and the pace of innovation. As we look at these three horizons, we look at them in cycles. At Horizon 1, we've seen the customer demand increase. So we've invested in engineering and sales to ensure we're building the product and service you need. We also ensure we have the right sales and marketing folks who are able to share it with you. And at Horizon 2, we're starting that investment cycle. And at Horizon 3, we see it coming and we will plan it for you. As I mentioned before, the cloud is moving fast and the pace of innovation continues to increase. So we're constantly staying ahead of the curve to ensure we're meeting your needs today, tomorrow, and in the future. So the cloud is moving fast. Over the past year, we have launched over 1,000 plus capabilities across AI to blockchain, to Kubernetes, to containers, databases, and more to ensure we're keeping you ahead of the curve. I've just walked you through a few ones, and those are very exciting, and we are building and making sure that we will meet you where you are. Now, I'm going to walk you through the infrastructure, data analytics, and app development capabilities and services that Microsoft has, including our key differentiators. I'd like to highlight a few things on this line. Azure offers purpose-built infrastructure to allow you to customize your infrastructure based on your specific workload needs, regardless of whether you are managing an on-prem or hybrid or cloud-only infrastructure. We are differentiated from our competitors by offering a first-class experience that has been recognized by partner certifications such as SAP and Red Hat. Let's talk about scale. We are global with support for 66 Azure regions and 150 VM size options. Given Microsoft makes Windows Server, there is no better place to run Windows platforms than on Windows Server. So they were quite literally made for each other. But we don't stop at Windows. 50% of our Azure VMs are running on Linux, which is why Microsoft has established relationship with big Linux providers. In fact, Microsoft is doing something the industry has never seen before. We've developed an integrated support model with Red Hat support sitting with our support teams in Redmond. Lastly, we have partnership with SAP, VMware, and Oracle in Azure, because we want you, it will allow us to migrate all your data centers seamlessly. So our goal is to enable your mission critical workloads in Azure itself, so you can have the best of both worlds. To support your apps and infrastructure, we have a breadth of data and analytics solution. So we offer a broad set of data services that can help store your data or distribute it based on your needs. From our relational database like SQL database, you can run it on VMs, so that's infrastructure, or you can get SQL DB managed instance PostgreSQL to our non-relational databases like Cosmos DB. Now we've taken the industry-leading data warehouse to a whole new level of performance and capabilities by bringing together data warehouse and big data. Now that we've talked about data analytics, I want to walk you through our serverless capabilities. These services enable you to adopt containerized serverless-based computing architectures for new applications, as well as modernizing existing apps you already have. With Azure, your developers can build cloud-native applications using canonical modern application patterns. The growing requirements of our modern digital business world can be a challenge for older applications, but there is a way to future-proof existing applications by moving them to the cloud. Azure supports and provides all the building blocks that your developer teams need to build applications using containers, managed databases, artificial intelligence, or serverless capabilities. We have actually created a broadest of Azure serverless compute solutions. It starts off with the app service where you can host website in addition to mobile applications. We also have Azure Functions where you want to focus on your code and business logic and not on the plumbing. After all, as a developer, only you can write the code. So let's make sure you can concentrate and focus on that. We also follow it up with Azure Kubernetes. It's a fully managed container orchestration for your workloads. So typically, we'll take care of the operating, monitoring, and maintaining your system, so you don't have to worry about downtimes. The beauty actually of these services is you can use a combination of them to meet your business needs. Because again, we meet you where you are. So not only do we have 1,000 plus capabilities that we've launched in the past year, but we deployed 1,000 plus supported IoT devices as well. We designed this Azure Iot Portfolio in a layered fashion on purpose. It means you can engage the portfolio on purpose where it makes sense. For example, you can start off with the infrastructure and move up and leverage things like time series insights at the PaaS layer, or I can go into fully managed services. And the cool thing is, if you are in the SaaS solution and you need to drop down to the PaaS mode and add more power or compute and AI of your own, you can absolutely do that and you don't need to rewrite your assets. So we have finally released our IoT solutions, and Azure IoT not only puts your organization in position for evolution or with improved efficiency and improved margins, but with advanced analytics and AI, Azure IoT puts your organization in position for revolution to disrupt, create new revenue streams, and stay ahead of the pack. Our second promise is around building on your own terms. From a developer perspective, we want to provide the flexibility needed to deploy apps on the frameworks, OSS, and tools you want with quality every time. So you have choices with a commitment to open source and support for all languages and frameworks to build and deploy how and where you want. When we say build on your own terms, we think about accelerating developer velocity, which means focusing on helping developers build productively, enabling secure collaboration within the team, the organization, and a broader global community of developers. Scaling your innovation by helping developers empower your entire organization to participate in the digital value generation. We see this through software development continues to evolve, and Microsoft has been there for a long time, enabling developers first. Developers are in our DNA and top of mind since the earliest days of the company. We've always known that developers are the key to our success as a platform company. And as software development has changed over the years, we have always been supporting the developers build their applications, evolving developers in their organization at the pace that software evolves is critical to their future success. As the new frontiers open up, Microsoft will always be there. As technology rapidly evolves and changes, you need to help your developer teams learn new skills and stay on top of the emerging technologies such as Kubernetes, AI, DevOps, and IoT. The pace of innovation is ever accelerating, and making skills easier and more accessible for developers is a commitment from Microsoft. One of the best ways to improve the skills of your developer is to give them tools they know and love. Our tools meet developers where they are today and expose them to new technologies in the context of code they're writing. When it comes to building productively, there are two areas of opportunity where Microsoft can help. First, ensuring developers become and stay proficient in their domain by helping them advance their knowledge. And second, hand the right skills by giving them the right tools. So as technology rapidly evolves and changes, you need to help your developer teams learn new skills and stay on top of the emerging technologies such as Kubernetes and other services. But we're not stopping there. Software development is constantly evolving craft, and developer tools need to reflect in the change in modern development workflows. At Microsoft, we are deeply committed to infuse modern development practices and emerging trends in our set of tools. With our platforms, developers have not just access to the latest technologies, but also a cutting-edge tool chain that supports the way they work. Visual Studio is one of the most productive tools out there, with new features that are focused on empowering you to do more. It doesn't stop at Visual Studio. Last year, Microsoft completed the acquisition of GitHub. GitHub is at the heart of the open source community and will always be an open platform that supports all developers. In fact, GitHub today is the largest developer community on the planet with over 40 million developers from every country on the earth. Collaboration is at the heart of GitHub. So last year, developers made over 1 billion contributions to the open source project and private repository that are hosted in GitHub. Enterprises rely on hybrid approach to benefit from their on-premise investment and at the same time unlock the innovation of the cloud. As more businesses expand computing to the edge, hybrid capabilities must enable apps to not only run seamlessly across on-premise services, public clouds, and edge devices, but also enable consistent management, security, and governance across all distributed locations. Azure takes a comprehensive approach and offers unique hybrid capabilities that gives customers the flexibility to innovate wherever and anywhere in their environment. So enabled by Azure Arc, you can bring Azure services to an existing infrastructure, including other clouds you are actually using. So you can take advantage of cloud benefits everywhere, such as scalability, fast deployment, and always up-to-date cloud innovation. You can build Azure consistent new cloud infrastructure in your own data center with Azure Stack. So you can modernize your data center and run cloud native application on premise. You can also extend the AI to the edge devices with Azure IoT. So you can run machine learning and advanced analytics close to the users and to the data. So today you might be targeting multiple clouds already. You may have your on-prem data center and you have edge deployments. The truth is, as business expand to the edge, you're going to need even more of these types of solutions. And you might be in a case where you have multiple types of technology that you're having pulled together, which makes it even harder to ensure it's secure and managed in a consistent way. That is why we introduced Azure Arc. So our last promise is our most important one. This is around trust. We believe our customers should fully trust the cloud they choose to bank on with their business. We drive to provide the most secure and compliant cloud platform with privacy and at the center of all innovations. We have the most certifications in the cloud, from managing identity across these paradigm shifts or to building apps that can run across them. To highlight a few points on this slide, I've already mentioned before, we are global. We support 66 Azure regions around the world, fastest and most resilient global network in the public cloud. More than 160 edge sites, targeting sub 30 millisecond latency across the planet. Only cloud provider enabling customer to extend private connectivity to remote or hard to reach areas with express route satellite. Azure enables on-premises to on-premises connectivity across our global WAN with express route global reach. What we want you to feel protected, so we heavily invested in security. And lastly, we have 91 compliance offerings, from certifications to laws we abide by, like GDPR. We believe that no other cloud services provider has more experience delivering compliant cloud solutions to financial institutions in the Philippines than Microsoft. Microsoft has worked in close cooperation with BSP and financial institutions in the Philippines and has a detailed understanding of the regulatory framework and process. Because Microsoft recognizes that the cloud service provider needs to actively facilitate compliance through full, transparent, proactive engagement with the financial institution and on request with BSP. So it starts with the definition of expected business outcomes and the business justification to move to the cloud. With this framework, you're able to define your migration strategy based on your needs, plan it out, ready your organization, and implement proposed solution, all while having the proper cloud operation practices in place. Governance and management are key elements in generating a cycle where constant optimization and change management takes place. So this is our cloud adoption framework. It will guide you through your journey, helping you control fears, uncertainty, and doubts about the cloud. So overall, what companies and businesses wanted to achieve is they'll be able to put their people first, empowering everyone to flexibility work, learn, collaborate, and innovate from anywhere, and accessible tools that enable the person closest to the business problems to solve it. They can create faster impact and increase time to value with the most complete, integrated, and open platform built on a holistic data foundation. And they are transforming with a partner they can trust. Microsoft Secure Cloud paired with our human-centric approach to innovation and world citizenship. Before I end my presentation, I would like to share with you our Microsoft Learn, where you will learn more of what Azure is. So again, thank you so much. Our mission is clear. We want to empower every person and every organization in the planet to achieve more. Thank you and have a great afternoon.
Thanks, Miss Anne. Okay, so thank you again, Miss Anne, for those insights. Now, let us start your 3Ds journey by managing your documents safely and securely. Here are our next speakers. John J. Garfin, Business Development Manager, SMC at TechOne Global, has always been about helping clients and understanding their specific business objectives, how they envision change within their organization by cultivating relationships through solution selling. He worked with C-levels and HR leaders in their major business transformation strategies and initiatives. He became a trusted advisor with skills and knowledge in implementing enterprise SaaS HCM projects, finding the best of breed solutions to service large clients. With him is Jurel Jed De Leon, digital evangelist at TechOne Global. He has a long history in the fields of human resources, information technology, sales, and business operations in both local and global cross-cultural environments. Jurel's mission is connecting businesses and people through trustworthy and innovative technology, forming mutually beneficial relationships that anchor on shared trust, responsibility, and accountability as a business partner to organizations and people to rely on. Over to you now, JJ and Jurel.
Thank you, boss, Miss Mimi. Yep, I would love to start by probably sharing my screen. Are you able to see it now, or
Yes, boss.
am I audible? Yeah. All right. Well, before I start, I wanted to ask everyone a very important question. Matter of fact, life-changing question. I wanted to know what's your favorite milk or dairy product. It is very important for me if you have any, something that you wanted to share, something that you've been using over the past, 10 years maybe, may it be local or internationally sourced. I would appreciate if you could put it on the comments here.
They said cowhead bear brand.
Yeah.
Danish milk is the best.
Yeah. So they said, okay, thank you so much. So yeah, well, actually, over the years, over the past 50 years, maybe, we were fed with information, that milk is the number one source of carbohydrates, right? Vitamin D, calcium, etc. Makes our bones healthy and strong, right? And today, today it's no longer, a discussion about, about milk being something important, right? It is a commodity like coffee, right? And it should be part of our daily meals, like breakfast, right? Now, my point showing this to you, is that today we no longer make decision. Well, we base our decision mainly on because of the marketing brands or the things that we see right now. However, it's a bit different when we talk about document management and digital transformation strategies, because there's no one definition of digital transformation, to any given organization. For some, it could be, about implementing, a backup support or data storage for their financial solutions software, and for some, it's actually to be able to access their documents wherever they are, on the cloud, right? Just like Ms. Rose mentioned earlier, right? And to thrive to the new business setup, right? But the reality for most executive that we spoke with in the past is that we're just trying to figure out where they are today and where they wanted to be in the next 5 to 10 years, right? And for many, it's actually to find a new way and how we could deliver products and services and be innovative, right? We're trying to figure out, or businesses today, we're trying to figure out how they could keep their people relevant, their products and services out in the market, and how they could serve their client in a meaningful way. And just listening earlier with Miss Rose, in their early days, post using Enadoc, I could really imagine how the struggles that they have, just looking at or managing million documents, which spurs a million transactions in just one day, and before Enadoc, right, they also have three resources to pull out information. It's not a good way, or they're having some challenges with this documents or paper-based transactions that they have, and now they are able to thrive and able to access files, decrease storage space, and now they no longer have office site or office site locations, right? Now, what I wanted to show to you next is how the past looks like, right? And you probably are familiar with this picture, right? Now, could be as you look into the present, it looks the same, right? And as mentioned earlier by Boss Lars, digital transformation is mostly held back by the burden of our day-to-day operation, which is super tied up with highly administrative tasks or paper-based transaction. This legacy process held us back, on where we wanted to be today or tomorrow, right? And as we talked about that earlier, digital transformation can only be we can only be transformed if we liberate ourselves from the past. Else we would be stuck with some information in our emails, somewhere in our filing cabinets, the wonderful filing cabinets that we have, somewhere in our ERP database, somewhere in our HRIS solutions, right? So there should be, should be a willingness. It is important to get our stakeholders buy-in as well in this digital transformation strategies. Now, yeah. So as I move on, may you be a small business or a startup company to an enterprise business, we all have one thing in common, and that is that we have employees, right? And with employees, we have employee files, right? And and as we evolve, as the company grows, right, and so as the volume of transactions, right, also piles up, right? In the past, we've helped companies across industry, as you're seeing on the screen, from hospital that has student, or hospital that has medical records, school that has student records. So many of them were facing this kind of challenges, as mentioned by most of our speakers earlier. And here's how actually Enadoc can help. Enadoc can help you release yourself from time-consuming, labor-intensive tasks of paper-based transaction of the past, so you could focus on something more important, maybe strategic part of the business. Well, for some, for HR, maybe it's about employee engagement, about making sure that our employees or people are happy, right? And as we all know, they are the most important or precious assets of the company, people. For others, it's about increasing productivity and decreasing administrative tasks or work, right? And as shared earlier with one of our clients, it is for us to thrive and to survive in this new environment. So as I move on, I wanted to share, a few months ago, we did some research. We went out and asked, HR professional of diverse group, from HR business partner, HR manager, admin, who are doing things in-house, who are managing their document in-house. So most of the feedback that we got, well, majority of them says that they're still tied up with administrative tasks that is paper-based in nature. Now, to break it down, as we all see on the screen, about 38% of them are mostly in the BPO segment, and with the majority of the size is about 100 to 1,000 employees. Now, you imagine yourself in their shoes, right? With those volume of transaction, and you probably are in the room today, right? And it actually tells us, as well, that 40% are currently on a hybrid setup or work from home. Now, what this translates is that hybrid workplace is not going anytime soon, and we must either adopt or equip our employees with the right tools to be successful and to release them from any administrative burdens. Now, it was all, of course, been shared earlier, that pandemic has really fast tracked digital transformation for most organization. And over the past 2 years, the sad truth is we're still seeing businesses struggle with their day-to-day operations, especially those that are working remotely. And it's actually not because they don't want it to. It's just that some of their policies and procedures are tied up with very manual or highly paper-based transactions. So they're the one who face challenges when it comes to uh, bank transactions, government statutory payments, employee records. Simply because they're not were able to transition to, or their process were not able to transition to a fully digitized environment. So overall, the goal of digital transformation should be about about creating value, about as an outcome. It should be about increasing increase employee customer satisfaction, and better stakeholder outcomes. And also should be about disaster recovery, right? Compliance and security. Now, he was quoted earlier, right? There's a need. A need arises when we have to adopt for this kind of changes. And the first pillar is actually digitization process. This is where we scan all our paper-based documents and we convert them to electronic files. Whether you are a public sector or a government or a private company, business needs to transform in order for them to thrive, right? So digitizing your workflows, your document processes would really help you a lot, so you could thrive in the new environment. Now, I wanted to show you, in line with the survey that we got earlier, in relation to that, we've also asked HR professionals about the common pain points in their business operations today. And the data shows actually about 53% of them still struggles with incomplete or outdated HR21 files, with 40% of the respondents says that they don't have a natural or physical storage to keep their files. Imagine that, right? Now, the data simply tells us that still they are tied up with administrative burdens, like and very administrative tasks. Many business, as we know, right, started with paper documents or records, and as they grow their business, so is the transactions that they have, and this becomes challenging and challenging part of their business operations, right? And as we can see on the screen, about 31% of them are still doing it manually or by hand, paper filing system. But the real question that we're seeing on the numbers here is, there's just a few percentage of them who have invested on a document management solution, right? I mean, because it is evident, based on the survey that we saw, that about 76% are still maintaining or still doing it manually, using their colorful spreadsheets or logbooks. And I hope you're not one of them as well. And it really shows that some of them doesn't have control and compliance. Now, documentation is still, as per our data or research, right, is still considered as one of the most top priority functions within HR. Matter of fact, 85% of the respondents says that they wanted to do away with this paper filing processes. This is where document management system could really help you with keeping your business afloat, as this has three main functionalities or feature, which is, you can be able to search your documents whenever you are, whenever you need it. You would be able to be compliant and ensure that, confidential information are kept safe. And it also ensures you, that you could back up your file just in case, that another disaster or pandemic strikes. Now, Enadoc is an easy-to-use document management solution that helps you scanning, storing, and retrieving your files or documents easy and fast. It is accessible via cloud, on-premise, or through your mobile phone or through your mobile. It could handle multiple business processes, and as shown here, it could be integrated to different enterprise solutions such as your ERP, HRIS, and CRM solutions. Now, let me tell you how it works. The future allows you to search or find your documents within a matter of seconds. First one is actually through an enterprise search. It allows you to search within the entire environment. Now, second is through advanced search, which filters unnecessary documents, making it easy for you to find the results that you're looking for. And then we have the full text search. Full text search is, it searches within the contents of your document. Now imagine yourself sitting on a pile of documents or receipts, and trying to figure out which one of them is, worth 1,000 pesos receipt, right? Now with an OCR technology, you could easily find that information, and it could spit out that information whenever you need it, right? Now, moving on to capture features, we actually have 4 ways on uploading to Enadoc. With the first one, the traditional process, which is through your scanners. By using a production or enterprise grade scanner, you can directly upload your scanned documents straight to Enadoc. And this is extremely useful as if you're uploading bulk of documents, right? Your documents go straight to the repository without any middleware. Next is through My Workspace. My Workspace is an area within Enadoc which allows you to upload your document through a local drive. Now, through this function, you'll be able to add indexes or tags, which makes it much more easier. It speed up that processes. Now, it could be easily saved to your library according to your desired metadata. Lastly, we have the Enadoc 365. And through this mobile application, you would be able to, which is also available via iOS or Android. You can capture or store documents through your mobile phones on the go. What makes it unique is that all your captured document won't store in your local phone's memory. Thus, it eliminates any potential risk of data breach. Instead, it goes directly to your Enadoc workspace, making this method very handy, especially if you're on the go. Lastly, we have API integration. Now, it could connect to, as mentioned earlier, it could connect it to your enterprise solutions such as ERP, HRIS solution, or CRM via API integration. Now, briefly, I wanted to discuss, and as I mentioned earlier, we take security very seriously. As a matter of fact, Enadoc uses a hexagonal security, which provides you, a peace of mind and making sure that your documents are safe. Enadoc utilizes hexagonal security that is a combination of active and passive deployment of security. This ensures that you can secure your the levels, between your users and documents, and you could also control, the access, let's say for viewing, editing, and sharing your documents. Now, for security levels, it allows the users to, make credential updates, create specific rule sets like having a password expiration, and prompt the users whenever there is change in their passwords. To further explain digital transformation and to show you a bit of a day in life of Enadoc, I wanted to introduce you to Gerald, our digital transformation evangelist. Over to you, Gerald.
Okay. So thanks, JJ. So before I share my screen, I'd like to invite everyone in the audience right now to give me a virtual stretch. So raise your hands if you're still there. So in the event that you may feel like you may need to stretch, please feel free to do so. And I'm actually going to do a time check right here. So, but before I start, right, and before I start with this whole time check thing, I want to have a recap about everything that was actually discussed by the previous speakers. So, one thing that I basically want to do is I want to thank the speakers currently today for giving their insights and experiences in regards to digital transformation, right? And as you can see on my slide right now, just to give you a small recap, I want to talk about digitization, right? So in its purest context, it's basically the process of taking analog information, such as documents, sounds, photographs, and converting them into a digital format that can be stored and accessed on any computer or any application that you have right here. So an example that I could probably give you besides documents, right, is if you have a grandpa like me, he loved collecting vinyl records, right? And before he passed, the first thing that he told me is, man, I wished I could have just listened to my 1971 record of Metallica, right? So during the time, MP3 conversions were already available, right? And as MP3 conversions became available, you had services like Napster, LimeWire, and now Spotify. Who would have imagined that the digital transformation journey for not only documents, but for music, right, turned into streaming services along with Netflix? Who would have known that Blockbuster would have been overtaken? So in the context of documents, right, if we wanted to stretch ourselves or basically stretch the organization towards the right path, towards digital transformation, you can see my recommendations on screen. The biggest thing that I would tell you what to do now is to start data conversion right now. You can do it in small bursts. Don't be intimidated by the large volume that you may have to face. And in doing so, you make sure that you have that future-proof output. So, funny story here. If I start talking about applications, I know this is specifically for Enadoc, right? But if you take Enadoc as an application that can help leverage the tools and all these processes and apps that you guys currently do on your daily BAUs, right? Having a tool such as Enadoc can help you as an organization and your employees to further look towards the future, right? Having access to tools that allow you to search swiftly, having access to tools that allow you to transform and configure or personalize your platform wherein you store your documents. And of course, not only that, having a tool where you can actually start signing documents, because earlier we were talking about document signing. We were talking about maker checker processes, right? But the thing is, if you start realizing it, and I do agree with that statement that was said earlier, right? Which was digital transformation is a people shift. It really is, right? Because the moment that you start realizing in terms of how to best utilize your resources by doing less administrative and more strategic functions, you can start towards this whole idea of digital transformation. So if you can see this specific slide right here, you have customer representative A. Let's say you have a customer that's asking for a contract, right? Because I'm not sure when that the contracts are going to end. There are also multiple use cases where the representative you used to work with was replaced, et cetera, et cetera. But if you take a look at customer representative B or someone internally, he's asking the rep that they're dealing with, like, hey, can you have your boss sign this document, right, and get it to me like in a few days, right? But with the proper use of tools and technology, you start transforming the business into a more agile form. But like I said, if I recap digitization and digitalization, one deals with data, right? The first one. The second deals with processes. So once you're done with these first two steps, that's when you can start looking towards digital transformation. You're only at the starting line. Digital transformation is about how you work, right? How you work as a user, how you work as an organization. Funny story. Our HR, the HR people currently on stream right now, right? Now is the time for the filing of 2316, right? So, and if you're an employee, you probably signed your 2316 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, right? And I would like you to imagine the journey that you took to sign it. Did you sign it digitally, or did you sign it by going into the office, going into your HR room, sign those 3 copies, right? Have your own copy yourself. Think about that. You know what our HR did? On March 13th, one of our HR staff, they just sent me a Enadoc sign request, right? And said, hey, kindly sign this document. And in a matter of minutes, I just submitted that document right to that user. For context, everything, ever since I started with Tech One Global, everything was done digitally. From the hiring process up until the moment now. You may not believe me, I haven't even met some of my teammates in person yet. Right? So, but to be able to achieve this level of digital transformation, I want to share with you some key elements of changes, right, that I've seen Tech One Global initiate within their own organization. Right? You have visionaries such as Boss Lars and Boss Wasanta with their visions and skills, right? They have the visions and skills currently on demand. You have Boss Lahiru that gives incentives and resources and the action plan in terms of how to move forward. So I would like to congratulate Tech One Global leadership for being able to basically receive all these key elements of change. But here's the story. Now you're probably looking at this and you're saying, okay, so how can I apply this to my own organization with starting with digitalization, looking towards digital transformation? How can I do it as an organization, right? Well, the red parts that you see on this slide are things that I want you to look, to watch out for, because I'll give you an example, right? If, let's just say for hypothetically, they won't do this, my bosses won't do this, right? What if Boss Lahiru came to me and he said, hey, Jarrell, I need you to develop like a full end-to-end ECM PeopleSoft/Ramco Microsoft tool by end of day, right? If I were a developer, right, I wouldn't have a problem with that. But the thing is, I don't have the skills. So what would I feel as an organization or as an employee? I feel anxiety. What if you told your direct reports to take on more responsibility without showing them the incentives of said product, right? You'd face resistance and so on and so forth. So to be able to leverage these key elements of change within your organization by starting with the smaller things like transforming data, that's when you actually take the first step. But now I want to show you a day in the life of how I would work in Tech One Global when it comes to documents, right? So just to show you, this is Enadoc, and let me cancel my initial screen first. So as you can see, I won't show you the whole thing. I'll just show you a specific task that I would do daily, right? I would log in, right? I would log in. I'm logged in and you see all these words. That's called the tag cloud, right? So if you want to know more about that, you can probably schedule a date with me and you don't have to worry, I don't bite. So, but we're not here to talk about the tag cloud. We're going to talk about how I utilize Enadoc to work with my colleagues. So let's say I needed a document signed, right? And the first thing that I want to do is the document's already on Enadoc, right? It's already been stored. But I can also upload specific documents into Enadoc through capture tools or individually uploading. But if you actually take a look at the screen right now, what did I do? I just typed a search function like a number, and it's an employee number. And now here are my search results. The colors earlier represent the visual, a visual of what that type of document is. Is it HR? Is it finance, right? Or is it sales? So let's start with this, right? Let's go to Agile on infra. And if I click this document, right, I know that this specific document itself, right, this non-disclosure agreement, so I'm going to be role-playing as an HR, right? So I'm going to say, hey, Agile, I need you to sign this document that I just uploaded on Enadoc. So please log in, and it won't take you too much time. Now, what I'm trying to show you here during this signature process is if I have the employees list, right, I can immediately select which users are going to sign the document through a hierarchy-based application. So remember, that's the key word. That's hierarchy, right? So let's say I want this guy, admin Jarrell, to sign it, right? It's me. And I'm going to say, please sign the non-disclosure agreement. I cannot spell. Disclose. I am sorry about this. Disclosure agreement. Now, all I have to do is an HR, and this is what our HR probably did when she uploaded my 2316 into Enadoc, is she just looked for my name, she clicked send. Earlier, I logged in into Enadoc, and full story, right? You're probably thinking, how about the security on this? Well, you don't have to worry, right? But if you want to know more, like I said, you can schedule a date with me through our marketing team. So one thing that I want to show you is now I'm going to try and log in to that user account. Oh, and by the way, I was told not to do this, but whenever someone is sending a sign request for you on Enadoc, here's one cool thing that it does. It sends you a notification to that email that was registered on the application. Really cool, right? Now, okay, so all you have to do is log in. So where's the security section for this? How is it secure? How is that document secure? Don't worry, we'll get there. We'll also discuss something about a digital envelope while we're here. So as you can see, I'm trying to open this file. Now, that signature request that I basically sent, now it's here. Okay, now I have the ability to sign a specific document. And there was a notification somewhere right there that someone asked me to sign my signature. So right there, just click. And then now, if I want to sign the signature, right? Let's say someone hacked your Enadoc account, which is very unlikely, right? It is very unlikely. You have the OTP verification step. The code will be sent to your email, wherein you as a user can basically just log in. No one can just log in into your Enadoc account as an example, right? And basically sign documents on your behalf. So we're taking that worry out, right? So I'm just going to give you a little peek. It's right there. That is, and if you can see on the screen, that was basically the OTP verification code. Now, what else can I do on Enadoc besides signing? Well, there's so much more, right? Unfortunately, we don't have so much time. But if you want to personalize and you want to talk to me about how I can probably help you or how Tech One Global can help you as an organization through tools like such as this, feel free to schedule it again, right? So like I'm going to keep repeating everything else because there are so many features on Enadoc itself. You'd be very surprised how it can help you as an organization, all on a single platform. Now, as you can see here, it is as easy as drag and dropping that signature right there. And that is the same document, right? Now, all I have to do is click sign. Yes, done. And the cool thing is the guy or that person that requested this signature to be output for you will receive a notification via their notifications dashboard. The notifications dashboard helps you track signatures that are pending for your approval or signatures that you sent out for someone else's approval. So let me go back to that specific user, right? But as we go back to that specific task, I want to show you something very, very cool. And hopefully you're still with me while we're showing this, right? So there are so many other features available on Enadoc. Even I couldn't believe it when I first saw it, right? I just kept thinking to myself, why didn't my old company know about this? It is so silly that we used to do things manually. By the way, I loved the Azure presentation earlier. And I used to work as a developer. And cool story I can give you again is I used to pray in front of my server room every Friday, praying that it won't break down. So when my old company transitioned over and when Tech One Global started transitioning over and using Azure tools, that's when we could do things remotely. So it helps me not only as a technical person to deal with the enormous amounts of responsibilities, right? But helps me give me that peace of mind. So here I'm showing you that Enadoc sign dashboard that I was talking about, right? Now you have your inbox, request by me, and signed by me. If you're here under the request by me, as you can see, this is something that I just recently signed. Why is it 1:49 p.m. while it's 4:24 p.m. on your screen? It's because the time zone was basically collapsed, right? But it is the same document. Now, if you actually start viewing the actual document, there is a certification that digitally certifies the document right there. You see this little ribbon, cute little ribbon up there? It says that that Enadoc has digitally certified the document. And now you're probably thinking, okay, so what? But then let me give you a use case story. If this document was sent outside of Enadoc, anyone with the right tools would be capable of manipulating signatures or changing the content within that original document. Now, I am very thankful to the organization for basically moving forward with the whole, document security thing, because we've had so many multiple use cases, and it's been such a journey listening to them about how people can start forging documents. So what I did there, by the way, is I started downloading that initial document that is right here. Now, let me open this document, right? Let me open this document to my Adobe Reader, and you will be in for a surprise. Okay. So while we're here under the Adobe Reader, right? What's one thing that you observed that you don't normally see when you open a PDF? You see that certification bar right there? That is an e-sign certification that the document is secure, right? So if anyone were to tamper with the contents of the document, so it's telling you right now, I'm seeing fields where it's unsigned, and it'll tell you, right? It'll tell you if someone used Photoshop and basically affixed a signature there, you'll definitely know about it, right? It is like a digital envelope that is sent to users to protect the information between you. So it's kind of like a blockchain, right? No in betweens. And if there is an in between, you'll know about it. So you can see that this is the signing time. Was it a valid signature? Is the domain, is the source correct, right? So not a lot of technology have this. But the thing is, right? I mean, they do, but they don't. The difference is these encryption details are visible to you, to your eye. Most document management platforms, they don't show this visual representation of digital certification. You'll just hear we're encrypted, right? So that's basically it, just showing you the day in the life, right? So if you have any other scenarios that you have in mind, like I said, you can feel free to post that question on chat, or feel free to schedule a very intimate one-on-one session with me and the team so we can actually start discussing your business requirement. And I think I did this in like how many minutes? I think in like 5-7 minutes. So, Ma'am Mimi, over to you. And thank you for listening in to this presentation. Bye-bye.
Okay, so thanks JJ and Jurel for that wonderful presentation. Again, as Jurel had mentioned, so if you want to book a one-to-one discussion about Enadoc, send us an email at lisa@enadoc.com. So we're quite over time as of the moment, so I'm wondering right now if our speakers can still accommodate some questions from our attendees. Actually, there are a couple of questions that we can see here. But speakers, will you be able to accommodate this, or can we answer their questions via email or via chat? Boss Tahiro?
Can I suggest, Mimi, since we are here, some of us at least, we can still go ahead. I have canceled whatever I was supposed to do now, so I'm available. I think Lairu is there, Vasansa is there, so let's do it.
Okay, boss.
Yeah, if we
So
can still hold on to a
Yeah.
few people to get it answered now, I think that might be a good idea.
Okay, boss.
All right.
Actually, we have some good questions and also some good insights and contributions from our attendees as of the moment. So here's some few questions that I saw in our chat room. So in a company, which organizations or departments is expected to lead the initiatives towards digital transformation? Should a different committee or organization be organized to effectively push transformation?
Can I answer that very quickly? I think we kind of covered that earlier. It's very difficult to say if it's HR or it's the department, if it's IT or the specific department. But if you are a business owner and you have seen the importance of digital transformation, a committee could be a good idea to try to identify where in your organization to start. If we talk about enterprise content management, document management, there are some what we call low-hanging fruits. For example, HR is a good place to start that many organizations can get great benefit from. If it's more about developing new opportunities, there's other parts of the organization, of course, that could be interesting to look at. But I would suggest that you set down a small little committee and say, okay, how can we drive digital transformation in our company? And feel free to reach out to companies like Tech1 to maybe give a kick-off talk or something like this. We are perfectly happy to do that. If you have a team set up, maybe we can help you with the kickoff talk for the first time the team meets to give you some inspiration.
Okay, boss. Thank you for that. Another question that we got here is, what are some of the top reasons why many companies are resisting digital transformation when many technologies are now pay-per-use and therefore more affordable than ever? Yes, Jarel.
Okay, so I think from my personal experience with the customers we've dealt with, right, the resistance stems from the amount of digitization that they have to do, right? They see big blocks of paper, they don't know where to start, right? So that's why I think that one of the recommendations that I've given is start small, right? And eventually, while you're starting small, you build that habit of starting to digitize not only your documents, but your processes. And eventually, you start heading into that direction, like mentioned, like digital transformation. So I think it's just more of a lot of people start getting intimidated when they see the plethora of tasks that they start having to do. So that's just my opinion, but I think Boss Lars has a comment to that as well.
No, I'm fine. Let's leave it there. In interest of time.
Okay, boss. This is the last question. In terms of tools and software, what tools or systems should a company initially invest if they are starting on digitization journey? Should they look at internal system, ERP, project management software, or customer-facing tools and systems?
So I think if you take the example of Sifat, how they started this journey when they experienced the pandemic at the onset. So communication and collaboration is one of the important pillar in any organization, because if you don't fix your communication and collaboration channel, then it will be very difficult for you to achieve your true digital transformation experience, because that's where I think all starts. But just to give an idea, first of all, it's good to have kind of a roadmap, because like Gerald mentioned, it's good to have a roadmap and identify what are the quick wins, like the low-hanging fruits. Because if you understand the low-hanging fruits, I think communication is one of them. You can immediately fix, because today we have so many options available. Like Teams is one of the fantastic platform we have seen. Last 2 years, it has grown exponentially, the user base. I think right now it crossed more than 10 million users. So maybe someone from Microsoft can help me there. What's the current number? So I think, it's very important you fix your communication and collaboration platform first before you start anything. And that is one of the key low-hanging fruit. Yeah, thank you.
Boss Masanta, do you have any additional answer?
I think in the interest of time, I would say that, we will take, there's another question actually on the bottom.
Yes, boss.
So,
Okay,
yeah.
so as mentioned by our speakers, due to our limited time, we just answered a few questions as of the moment, and we will respond to the remaining questions via email, or the speakers can also answer the questions via chat. So once again, thank you so much to our speakers from Tech1 Global, Microsoft, Enadoc, Bashundhara Group, and Landco Pacific Corporation. So let's start your 3Ds journey. Schedule a free business consultation now by sending us an email at aliana@tech1global.com or at lisa@enadoc.com. So we look forward to seeing you again in our future events. Stay safe, stay healthy. This is Mimi Navarro. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you.